Welcome. Today, we're diving into this really powerful idea from the book Primal Intelligence. It's a concept that pretty much flips our whole modern idea of being smart on its head. And the story starts in a place you'd probably never expect: U.S. Army Special Operations. So, back in the early 2000s, the Army had this troubling observation about their best and brightest recruits. I mean, they were bringing in these certified geniuses, people with off-the-charts IQ scores. But something was seriously, dangerously wrong. You see, even with these incredible minds, their intelligence would just turn brittle when things got messy and the stakes were high. When they were faced with the chaos and uncertainty of the real world, not, some neat and tidy test, their logical, step-by-step thinking would just shatter. And this wasn't just about the job. It was causing personal crises, too. The Army was scrambling for an answer, and it led them to this wild rumor about a university think tank over at Ohio State. So they sent a skeptical Army colonel to check it out, to investigate this pretty incredible claim that this group had basically rediscovered a lost power of the human brain. And what he found? Well, it wasn't science fiction. It was this compelling, brand new, and untested theory about a totally different way of using our minds. A way that goes way beyond pure logic and even beyond what artificial intelligence can do. The researchers gave it a name: Primal Intelligence. Think of it as this innate ability we all have to navigate and thrive when things are unstable, unpredictable, when we're basically in the dark. This isn't about crunching huge amounts of data. It's about knowing how to act smart when you have very, very little to go on. So this primal intelligence works through 4 core powers. You've got intuition, which helps us spot the thing that just doesn't fit; imagination, which lets us see possibilities that aren't there yet; emotion, which acts like a compass, telling us what's truly important; and then common sense, which keeps our decisions grounded in reality. And these aren't some new agey ideas. They're basic, fundamental tools that our modern world has kind of taught us to ignore. So let's start with that first power: intuition. Because the way this theory defines intuition is the complete opposite of how we usually think about it, and definitely the opposite of how our computers are taught to think. This slide just nails the contrast. See, modern AI and a lot of science defines intuition as just pattern recognition, seeing what's familiar, what fits. Primal intuition is the exact opposite. It's about spotting the exception, the one weird thing that doesn't fit the pattern. It's the part of your brain that leans in and asks, wait, what breaks the rule here? And get this, the Army actually has a name for this. They call it exceptional information. It's that little blip, that outlier, that thing that violates everything we think we know. And when you act on that blip, it can reveal a whole new rule, a new way the world works. It's a signal, not just noise. This is the perfect example of how powerful this is. When the first microcomputer came out, all the mainframe experts just laughed it off. It was too small. It broke the bigger is better rule. But Steve Wozniak's primal intuition saw its exceptional smallness not as a bug, but as a feature. That insight, mixed with the imagination to see a computer in every home, well, that's what led to Apple. So how does this actually play out? I mean, this ability to spot and use exceptions isn't just for tech geniuses. It has huge consequences in high-stakes moments, which, you guessed it, brings us right back to the Army. Okay, picture this: final test for special operations training. There's this absolutely grueling obstacle course. The goal seems simple enough: get through all the mud and the ropes and ring a bell at the finish line before the timer buzzes. Now imagine you're that recruit. You're halfway through and you just know you're not fast enough. You're not going to make it in time. Logically, you have 2 choices, right? Quit now or keep going and fail. So what do? He did something completely illogical and completely brilliant. He saw an exception to a rule that wasn't even written down. He completely ignored the obstacles, ran around the entire course, and rang the bell. The instructors were just stunned. But then it clicked. This recruit had totally redefined the problem. The goal wasn't run the obstacle course. The real goal was ring the bell. The obstacles were just the path they assumed everyone would take. That one single act of primal thinking changed how they trained their soldiers forever. So this incredible way of thinking isn't some secret military technique. And it's not a special gift that only geniuses like Steve Wozniak have. It's something much, much more fundamental. And this is really the most crucial point of all. Primal intelligence isn't something new you have to learn. It's your lost nature. It is a built-in natural capacity that our modern world, with its obsession with data, logic, and following the rules, has basically trained right out of us. We've been taught to stick to the pattern, not to go looking for the exceptions.
So, reclaiming this power, it starts with a simple, kind of provocative question. Just look around at your own life, at your job, at home, at your own way of thinking. What's the exception? What's the anomaly, the outlier, that little piece of information you've been conditioned to ignore as just noise? Because that right there might just be the key to your next big breakthrough.